And we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we're going to talk about a couple of quarterback stuff with the Giants as well as the Patriots. So there could be a couple of quarterback competitions here with these two teams. Now, when it comes to the Giants, they don't have a long-term plan at quarterback at the moment. I don't believe the long-term plan is on the roster. So right now, 2024 is going to be interesting because they talk about Daniel Jones being the guy. But according to Daniel Jeremiah, he said that Drew Lock's got a chance to, be the QB1 on this team. And I think he does deserve a chance. Because what is Daniel Jones? I mean, I know he won a playoff game a couple of years ago, but Daniel Jones is coming back from injury. Daniel Jones, before the injury, was not playing well. Now, you could point to the offensive line being ineffective because the offensive line did get better as the year went on, but of course it was with Daniel Jones not playing. It was with Tommy DeVito and Tyrod Taylor playing quarterback. And, you go back to the team that Drew Lock played for last year, Week 3 against the Seahawks, Daniel Jones got sacked 11 times. Threw a horrendous pick six, but got sacked 11 times. But Daniel Jones did not play well last year, and then he got hurt. He dealt with the neck injury and the torn ACL. And as a Giant fan, I hope he does well. I really do. I hope he proves everybody wrong. He goes out there and he plays really well. He throws 30 touchdown passes, not a lot of interceptions. The rushing touchdowns are there as well. I hope he goes out there and has a great year. But I just don't see it happening. So when you got Daniel Jeremiah believing that Drew Lock has a shot to beat out Daniel Jones as the number one quarterback, I think he deserves that chance. Because Drew Lock did win, a Monday night game against the Eagles last year. That was a big game. I know the Eagles were kind of in a free fall, but still, he won that game. He's been a starter in this league. He's won games before. Now, has he won big? That was probably the biggest game he's ever won, is that one. The Seahawks were still kind of in the thick of it for, playoff spot, and they needed that win, and they got it. Through that touchdown, I think it was, who was it to? Was it to Jackson Smith and Jigba? The game-winning touchdown? And then I think Julian Love picked off Hurts to end the game. So you had a former Giant and now a current Giant making big plays for the Seahawks. But yeah, like I said, I think Drew Lock deserves a shot because Daniel Jones is coming off an injury, and they need. Well, they've done this before with Daniel Jones, where they've kind of pushed him. When Daboll first got there, I think they were trying to push Daniel Jones with Tyrod Taylor because Tyrod Taylor was a Daboll guy, and they wanted to see if Daniel Jones really had what it takes to be the starter, and he ended up beating out that competition, if you really want to call it, in Daboll's first year. And the Giants went out there and had a good season for the first time in a while, made the playoffs, won a playoff game. So you got to give Daniel Jones credit there. But other than that, what has Daniel Jones done in his career? Other than beat Washington, hasn't really achieved that much. And now we're going into, this is now his fifth year, right? 2019, 2020. Well, it's his sixth year now. I mean, this is it. Now, the Giants did pay him. They did. But it was like, at that point, it was, what is the alternative? Who are they going to find that's going to replace Daniel Jones? Because if you go and you draft a rookie quarterback, now, they weren't going to draft, they weren't picking in the top 5 after making the playoffs. So you're not going to find it there. They had to pay Daniel Jones. Now, did they have to pay him what they paid him? No. But he's coming off of his best season statistically, even though the numbers aren't that impressive. Well, the touchdown to interception ratio is not impressive, but the rushing touchdowns were. But that's what they did. And now myself and Giant fans are like, well, maybe you should have paid Barkley instead, prioritize paying him and then working on Daniel Jones. I don't know. But this is last offseason. I think what the Giants did letting go of Barkley, I was fine with it. Because, he's going to cost a lot of money, and the Giants have so many other needs that letting him go, they had to do it. But and I like what the Giants did with the draft. You don't take a quarterback just to take one. If they really believed in one of these quarterbacks, then you take him. Now, they supposedly were trying to trade up for Drake Maye, but the Patriots were like, you're going to have to give up a lot. And they were like, well, we're not willing to do what they want. So they took a receiver. And they're like, all right, well, Daniel Jones is our guy. But he might not necessarily be the guy because they could opt to say, all right, well, Drew's impressing us more. He's going to get the starting job. And then you also still have Tommy DeVito as well. But you know what? Yeah, I think Drew Lock does deserve a shot to be the starter here. I don't think... I mean, yeah, you could look at Daniel Jones winning a playoff game and say, yeah, that gives him a leg up on Lock. But other than that, that was 2 years ago. Last year, he didn't play well, and then he got hurt. So he really shouldn't be guaranteed the starting job. And like I said, I hope he bounces back. I hope he proves me wrong and he has a great year. But I just don't see it. I don't see it. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was, I talked about Drake Maye. Jacoby Brissett. So he talks about, a possible quarterback competition between him and Drake Maye. Said competition brings out the best in us. And he said, that's all out of my control, so I don't really worry about that. This is talking about, he's kind of bounced around. He's gone from team to team since his first stint with the Patriots. He said, I'm excited to have him on the team, meaning Drake Maye, and the other guys as well that we drafted and picked up. I think it's going to be good. Competition brings out the best in all of us, so I'm excited about that part. And this is what he said. Those things just happen because it's not necessarily for just one specific player. It's for the whole team. He's talking about mentorship. I'm seeking mentorship as well, so it's an ongoing process. It's just being a good teammate. I think that's where it stands, and then everything else plays off of that. And Jacoby Brissett's a quarterback that's won games as well. Has bounced around a lot. Went from the Patriots to the Colts, the Dolphins, the Browns, the Commanders. Now he's back with the Patriots. I think I named everybody that he was with. He's been with a lot of teams. And he's one of the better backup quarterbacks in the NFL as well. And I think having a veteran like him that's familiar with the Patriots to kind of bring Drake Maye along, I know it's kind of cliche, but yeah, I think that's good to have that. And the Patriots took Drake Maye with the number 3 overall pick, so I would imagine he's going to start week 1. But Jacoby Brissett's there to, like I said, kind of bring him along, be a mentor to him. But Jacoby Brissett's saying, listen, I'm going to compete and, try to show that I could be the starter, at least for now. And then you hand it off to Drake Maye at some point later on. So, but I think it's all good things. Jacoby Brissett's embracing that, and he's going to be fine with whatever role he's put in. So at least that's what it seems. And I think he kind of knew that. He knew that what the Patriots were going to do. Like, he wasn't going back to the Patriots to be their starter. Now, he might play, but he's not the long-term answer. And he knows that. I'm pretty sure. So, but I think having a veteran like him there to kind of bring along the young quarterback and kind of guide him, if he goes through his struggles as well. We talk about Caleb Williams in the last segment. Drake Maye's going to have that too. I don't know how good Drake Maye is going to be. Now, when it comes to the Bears, the Bears gave Caleb Williams a lot to be successful. The Patriots, it's a work in progress. They got some work to do. They did draft a receiver. They did bring back Kendrick Bourne, who's coming off of an injury last year. Their offense is a bit lackluster compared to the Bears. So there's definitely going to be some growing pains for Drake Maye and the Patriots. But the Patriots hope they have their guy for the next 15 years. And like I said, having a veteran quarterback like Jacoby Brissett there is good to have. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, just a couple things to touch upon with these two teams. But, yeah, so I ran a little bit past 11:30 or 11:30 Eastern time. I did have a lot to say today. So that is pretty much it for the show for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check out the other shows as well. Get perspectives on different things. Basketball, baseball, sports in general, wrestling. Don't forget about wrestling. We got it all. Or mostly everything. And like I said, more new faces will be on the way as well. Also, I forgot to add soccer as well. Soccer podcast as well. That'll be on the way. You'll start seeing that soon. But yeah, just make sure to check out those shows. And so like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. And yeah, that is all the time that we have for today. We'll be back again tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And until then, I'm your host, Kenneth Grunfelder, signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.